came to my mom's house, my car, Leona's car, my car, 2 boats. That's just 2 boats. That is $635K. Yeah.
The big issue I have is with Travis Hunter. What in God's name would make you think that that's a good thing to
$635,000, gone in the blink of an eye. Cars, mansions, boats, designer clothes. Travis Hunter was living like money would never run out. But now, he's at the center of one of the messiest scandals in NFL history. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back, blasting him for reckless spending and questionable choices that could destroy his career before it even begins. Was it love, betrayal, or just a ticking time bomb waiting to explode? Today, we break down how one of football's brightest stars went from Heisman hero to financial freefall, and why the world can't stop talking about it. Before the bankruptcy headlines took over, Travis Hunter was busy showcasing a lifestyle most people only dream about. Flashy cars, high-end fashion, lavish getaways, he painted the picture of endless wealth across social media. But the story has taken a sharp turn. Now, with Stephen A. Smith weighing in, the spotlight has shifted. And let's be honest, when Stephen A. speaks, the world doesn't just hear it, they pay attention.
You're about to go into the National Football League. That's what you're about to do. You're about to get paid. In my eyes, this should be your most selfish time. You need to think about the people that you're involving.
Stephen A. didn't hold back. He came right at Travis, calling out his reckless spending and questionable money moves that simply don't make sense. Sure, some folks are pointing fingers at his wife's scandal, saying that's what sparked the fire. But Stephen A. isn't buying it. In his eyes, the responsibility lands squarely on Travis. He was the one making the decisions, he was the one signing the checks, and now, he's the one facing the consequences.
I don't believe that about Leona 1 second. And I don't want to hear anything about anything that she may have done years ago. She's a young lady. Come on, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? She ain't some seasoned grown woman who's experienced and living her life and, manipulating things. And she's a young lady. Mistakes.
Before the bankruptcy drama blew up, Travis Hunter was living like money would never run out. Flashy cars, designer fits, luxury vacations. He made sure the world saw the dream life on display. But things shifted fast once Stephen A. Smith stepped into the conversation. And when Stephen A. speaks, it's never background noise, it's front-page news. He went straight at Travis, blasting him for reckless spending and shady financial moves that never added up. Some say his wife's scandal may have sparked the fire, but Stephen A. made one thing clear: the blame still sits on Travis's shoulders. He made the calls, he signed the checks, and now he has to face the fallout. So, what really went wrong with Travis Hunter's money moves? And how did his wife get tangled up in the chaos? Let's rewind. Travis wasn't just another rookie, he was the crown jewel of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Drafted number 1 overall in the 2025 NFL Draft, celebrated as a once-in-a-generation talent. He wasn't just good, he was historic, dominating at both wide receiver and cornerback for Colorado, something we hadn't seen since Charles Woodson back in '97. And by just 22 years old, Hunter etched his name in history by winning the Heisman in December 2024. His future looked stamped in gold. Then came the money, an eye-popping rookie contract, 4 years, $46.65 million, with a massive $30.66 million signing bonus. To outsiders, Travis had it all: fame, fortune, and a legacy in the making. But behind the highlight reels and Instagram flexes, storm clouds were already forming. Enter his wife, Leona Lynn. She quickly became tied to the whispers surrounding Travis's downfall. Reports claim her scandals, combined with demands for a lavish lifestyle, drained his fortune at a staggering pace. Private jets, high-end shopping sprees, multi-million-dollar homes, the kind of spending that could torch through millions in a heartbeat. Suddenly, Travis's accounts looked drier than a desert at noon. And now, with Stephen A. Smith throwing fuel on the fire, it's no longer just gossip. When Stephen A. puts your personal life and your bank account under the microscope, it means the collapse has gone from embarrassing to dangerous. For Travis Hunter, this isn't just a story about bad money management, it's about personal choices, who he trusted, and how the wrong influences can sink an empire. Stephen A. might sound like he's defending him at first, but look closer, he's been one of Travis's sharpest critics. Especially on the decision to marry without a prenup, a mistake that in the sports and financial world can turn a fortune into dust overnight. From the very start, people were calling the move reckless. The red flags weren't just waving, They were flashing like neon signs. But Travis, like so many young athletes who suddenly jump from college struggles to millionaire paychecks, followed his heart instead of protecting his fortune. By May 2025, he and Lionel tied the knot, without a prenup. That single decision left financial experts stunned. Without that legal safeguard, Travis had basically handed Lionel the keys to half his empire if the marriage ever crumbled. Imagine it, a young man who had just climbed out of the grind of college ball into tens of millions, but instead of securing his wealth, he signed into a marriage contract that left him completely exposed. That's not just love, that's liability. And the prenup fiasco was only the beginning. Once the ink dried on his massive NFL contract, Travis launched into an all-out spending spree. One of his flashiest moves? Dropping nearly $600,000 on luxury cars just for Lionel. The crown jewel was a custom black Mercedes-Benz AMG 63 Brabus 800, worth over $200,000, that he gifted her at their wedding reception. But the couple didn't stop there. They turned their lifestyle dial all the way up. First came a $3.275 million mansion tucked inside a gated community in Jacksonville. Just weeks later, they upgraded again, this time to a sprawling estate with 13 rooms, 7 bedrooms, and 7.5 acres of pure extravagance. A swimming pool, tennis court, 4-car garage, the kind of property that screamed luxury, excess, and financial danger all at once. And the spending spree only escalated from there. Travis dropped a jaw-dropping $100,000 on an engagement ring, then blew more than $20,000 on a Turks and Caicos honeymoon, before even factoring in the cost of travel. Add to that a growing list of high-ticket luxuries, and it was clear his finances were spinning out of control. Financial advisors across the country pointed to his choices as textbook examples of reckless spending. And Stephen A. Smith, who's built a reputation not just as a sports analyst but as a loud voice warning athletes about money traps, made Travis a recurring target of his criticism. He hammered those decisions again and again across multiple platforms. Even other experts joined in. Renowned divorce attorney James Stone publicly offered free prenups to every player in the 2025 NFL Draft, using Travis Hunter as the cautionary tale of exactly what not to do. Meanwhile, the internet had its own theories. Online chatter about Lionel caught fire, with many accusing her of being a gold digger. Fans pointed to shady details, like the $sign tattoo she sports on her ring finger, or whispers that she hadn't even. The suspicions only grew louder. People pointed out that Lionel never even entertained Travis's advances until his football career took off. Add in her love for being spoiled with expensive gifts, and the picture became clear to critics. She wasn't chasing his heart, she was chasing his bank account. And the numbers tell the brutal truth. By Travis's own admission, he had already blown through more than $635,000 in record time. That included $300,000 on a house for his mom, over $250,000 on vehicles for himself and Lionel, nearly $80,000 on boats, plus a laundry list of extras no rookie salary could realistically support. The most alarming part? The timing. Travis wasn't a veteran with stacked contracts and years of savings, he was a rookie who hadn't played a single snap in the NFL. Yet he was spending like the money faucet would never shut off, gambling everything on future earnings that could disappear in an instant from injury, poor performance, or circumstances beyond his control. Stephen A. Smith, after decades of watching athletes rise and fall, recognized the danger immediately. He warned that this wasn't just about losing money quickly, it was about cementing destructive habits. Travis was living like a superstar before proving himself, setting a lifestyle bar so high it would be nearly impossible to maintain. Those choices weren't just reckless, they were paving the way for long-term disaster. And Smith's advice couldn't have been more relevant: protect your money, and be careful about who you let into your inner circle. By this stage, Travis was already feeling the squeeze of financing Lionel's luxury demands. Every career move risked being shaped by her expensive expectations. It was a runaway train with no brakes, speeding up with every reckless swipe of his card, every warning he ignored, every decision that put short-term shine above long-term survival. And right on cue, Stephen A. would soon deliver some of his most scathing commentary yet, dragging Travis's downfall like only he can. The unraveling truly began in December 2024, at the exact moment Travis should have been at the peak of his glory. On December 14th, he captured the Heisman Trophy, becoming the first primarily wide receiver to win the award and the first true two-way player since Charles Woodson in 1997. It should have been a crowning moment of pure triumph. But instead of celebration, that night became the spark for a scandal storm. Cameras caught Lionel's awkward reaction to Travis's historic win. No excitement, no pride, no tears of joy. She stayed seated, stone-faced, until Coach Deion Sanders nudged her to stand. That clip went viral instantly, fueling questions about her loyalty and unleashing a flood of harsh criticism. And that awkward Heisman moment was just the beginning. Within days, old photos and videos of Lioness started surfacing online, painting a very different picture from the supportive partner image she had built. Then came the bombshell. A YouTuber dropped a video alleging that, back in her late teens, around 18 or 19, Lioness worked at an Atlanta strip club. The claims went even further, suggesting she may have worked in venues where bartenders had to be at least 21, directly clashing with her long-standing insistence that she only bartended, never danced. Suddenly, the whispers weren't just gossip. They were backed by receipts. And the timing couldn't have been worse for Travis Hunter's picture-perfect story. The financial blow from Lioness scandals hit Travis hard and fast. In today's NFL, a player's image isn't just about football. It's the engine behind endorsements, sponsorships, and brand deals worth millions. So when the rumors about his wife started spinning out of control, the money dried up overnight. Brands that once had Travis circled as the next golden face suddenly slammed the brakes. Nobody wanted their reputation tied to a storm this messy. And the strip club allegations? That was only the beginning. Soon, wave after wave of damaging videos flooded the internet. Clips from 2020 and 2021 allegedly showed Lioness twerking at parties, cozying up to other men, even entertaining sneaker-link messages. But the most explosive leak, Snapchat footage that appeared to show her in bed with another man, dated around 2021. It was viral, it was chaotic, and it completely shifted the narrative. Defenders tried to argue some of it happened before she was with Travis, but the timelines didn't match up. That only fueled speculation. Was she ever loyal? Was their relationship ever solid? Social media ripped it apart, theory after theory, with endless debates about what was real, what was staged, and what it all meant for Travis. Financially, the damage was undeniable. Overwhelmed by the backlash, Travis deactivated his Instagram, a platform that could have been a goldmine. Sponsorships, brand posts, collaborations, opportunities easily worth hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, were suddenly gone. In shutting down his account, Travis basically burned one of his biggest side hustles at the exact moment he needed cash the most. Yet through it all, he stood by Lioness in public, emotionally defending her against the storm. And that defense made it clear, this wasn't just a money crisis. It was deeply personal. Travis wasn't thinking like a businessman guarding his empire. He was thinking like a man fighting for love, even if it cost him everything. Then came the whispers, Lioness might be pregnant. That rumor alone threatened to lock Travis into a new level of financial obligation that could last decades. No prenup. Ongoing scandals. And now the possibility of a child? It was a perfect recipe for disaster, leaving Travis wide open with zero protection. And it wasn't just Stephen A. sounding the alarm anymore. Other voices across the sports world chimed in. Former NFL star Des Bryant, even rapper Boosie, publicly urged Travis to walk away, warning him that he was gambling not only his fortune, but his career itself, on a relationship already drowning in controversy. But here's the kicker. As bad as things already looked, the worst was still to come. The ultimate financial nightmare loomed, threatening not just the millions Travis had already burned, but every future dollar he might ever make in the NFL. The scandals, the reckless spending, the emotional choices. All of it had fused into a perfect storm so brutal that even Stephen A. With decades of watching athletes rise and crash, was stunned at just how fast Travis Hunter's story unraveled. The red flags had been flashing since day one, but now, the countdown had hit zero. By the time the chaos hit full explosion mode, analysts argued that to really understand Travis Hunter's collapse, you had to rewind all the way back to where it started, his relationship with Lioness Lynn. Because the truth is, the red flags weren't new. They'd been waving from day one. Their early timeline became a lightning rod for controversy once the details resurfaced. Reports revealed that Travis first slid into Lioness' DMs back in 2020 and got left on read for 2 straight months. When that detail came back under the microscope, it only fueled suspicions. Critics pointed out how Lioness only started entertaining him once his football career took off. Lioness, of course, tried to brush it off, dismissing the delay with what many called a too convenient excuse. But by then, the damage was done. To the public, the pattern was clear. The foundation of their relationship looked shaky from the very start.
He wasn't my type. I did not mean attractiveness. I don't have a physical type, period. No two men that I previously dated looked the same. My first one was a white cowboy. Second one was a Mexican soccer player. Then I dated a black man who's a SoundCloud rapper. And then Travis. So I have never dated the same.
That excuse only poured fuel on the fire, raising even more questions about where Lyanna's intentions really lay. Critics jumped on every inconsistency in her story. How could she claim Travis wasn't her type and that she had no real interest, yet still keep such a close eye on his life that she knew exactly when he became single? It didn't add up, and fans weren't buying it. To them, it painted a picture of someone waiting in the wings, not out of love, but out of timing, and that timing conveniently aligned with Travis's rising star.
The real reason Travis sat in my DM for 2 months is because he DM'd me when he had a girlfriend, and her name was in his bio, so I instantly knew he had a partner. So I exited the message and he sat there until he was single. I don't do home wrecking. I'm not a side piece. I don't stand for any of those things. I support women, so I would never do that to another.
All of this only deepened the speculation that Lyanna might have been playing the long game, strategically waiting for Travis's career to take off before finally making her move. In her defense, Lyanna later clarified that when she said he wasn't her type, she wasn't talking about looks, but about his personal qualities. Still, the timing, the excuses, the contradictions, they painted a picture that critics argued looked far more like strategy than love. Once Travis and Lyanna officially locked in during early 2022, the pace was relentless. By March, they were Instagram official, and Travis was already spoiling her with extravagant gifts. Conveniently, this was the same period he transferred to Colorado, right when his nil value exploded, turning him into one of the most marketable names in college football. But to many onlookers, the timing felt too perfect. Financial experts couldn't ignore how Lyanna's sudden interest seemed to align directly with Travis's skyrocketing earning power. The correlation was impossible to dismiss. And as more details about their early relationship surfaced, the warning signs only grew louder. Travis himself later admitted, without hesitation, that he burned through around $635,000 in record time. Travis admitted he blew through roughly $635,000 in a ridiculously short span, and even his most loyal fans were stunned at how casually he spoke about it. To many, it didn't just scream inexperience, it revealed a flat-out disregard for financial planning. What made it worse was the pattern. Almost every major expense traced back to Lyanna or their relationship. From luxury cars to endless trips to an extravagant lifestyle, she seemed to slip into the high life with ease, while Travis was the one footing the bill. By early 2025, just months after inking one of the richest rookie deals in NFL history, reports were already swirling that Travis was facing serious cash flow problems. Insiders claimed his outflow was crushing his inflow so badly that, despite being a multimillionaire, he was basically living paycheck to paycheck. By late 2024 and into early 2025, the gold digger accusations aimed at Lyanna hit a fever pitch. And when Travis stepped forward to publicly defend her, it showed just how deep he was in, emotionally, financially, and dangerously entangled.
What was they expecting her to do?
I don't have to decide I know I don't have to defend myself to no clowns. I'm not defending myself. I'm defending my girl. Cause she's not gonna get on here and talk. She just hurt. You know, she upstairs because she been crying all day. You know, cause people trying to attack her character. Like, they don't know her. They ain't never talked to her before. So I'm gonna protect.
Experts said it revealed a young man completely blind to the red flags, either unable or unwilling to face the truth. His money, his stability, and his entire future were now hanging by a thread. And when Travis tried to defend Lyanna, the move backfired badly. In his attempt to clear her name, he admitted that she actually contributes to his income, a confession that only raised more eyebrows and made the situation even messier.
It ain't about the money, chat. It's about the girl you have with you. She brings value to me. She makes me money, and she makes her own money. So if we gonna say she a gold digger, make sure you say I'm a gold digger too. Make sure you say I'm using her too, because she got me.
Financial experts didn't hesitate to call out the pattern, saying it looked less like coincidence and more like strategy. The timing of every move, when she responded to his DMs, when the relationship went public, when the gifts started flowing, and when the engagement happened, lined up almost too perfectly with Travis's financial milestones. To critics, it painted the picture of a relationship built on opportunity rather than love. And if the divorce whispers were true, the so-called fairy tale could end with one of the most brutal financial implosions the NFL has ever seen. That had nothing to do with football. What once looked like the curated feed of the NFL's next golden boy was now starting to resemble a reality show gone wrong. For a franchise that had invested tens of millions into his potential, the optics were disastrous. Behind closed doors, Jaguars staff were quietly questioning whether Travis was fully locked in, or if his focus had been hijacked by the whirlwind surrounding Lionel. Former players noted how quickly off-field distractions can derail even the most gifted athletes, and Travis was showing the textbook signs of a star slipping into dangerous territory. Sponsors, already hesitant from the scandals, began pulling further back. Every misstep on the field only amplified the narrative that Travis's priorities were skewed. The whispers grew louder. Was he really built to handle the pressures of being a professional, or was his empire already collapsing before it had even begun? Screamed of a man under pressure, then came the silence. Weeks of Travis Hunter laying low, desperately trying to hold together a shaky facade of stability while chaos brewed behind the scenes. Legal experts warned this wasn't just about reckless overspending anymore. His money problems were now tangled up with potential liabilities, Lionel scandals, lawsuits, threats, and the crushing cost of defending even the flimsiest claims. Some advisors even whispered the unthinkable, bankruptcy, a way to shield what little he had left, to buy time, and to avoid the financial death blow a divorce settlement could deliver. The irony couldn't be darker. Tens of millions earned before age 23, now teetering on the edge of vanishing. Not because of injuries. Not because of bad investments, but because of choices tied to one relationship. And the warning signs? They were there from day one. The ignored messages. The "you're not my type" line. The sudden shift once the money rolled in. The flood of gifts, the luxury lifestyle. All red flags, all ignored. Now the sports world watches as one of its brightest young stars risks total collapse. Not from the brutality of the game, but from the brutality of his own decisions. A career, a fortune, a future, all hanging by a thread, tied to a love story that may go down as one of the messiest cautionary tales in NFL history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. And of course, click one of the boxes on your screen to dive deeper into the wildest stories in sports. See you in the next one.